Hey, if you want to learn the key to never failing in your journey to success, stick around and watch today's video through until the very end, as I'm about to share with you the simple mindset shift for you to make in order to never fail, always make progress, and ultimately succeed on a massive level. As always, if this is your first video, my name is Mish Wilson, and over the course of the last few years, I've now generated over $40 million in total sales online. So everything I'm going to be teaching you here in today's video is based on actual applied knowledge and not just theory. As always, if you get value out of this video, please let me know in the comments section below what your biggest takeaway is. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you get value. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right in. Welcome to the Misha Wilson Show, where we show you how to create massive success online so you can enjoy the lifestyle of your wildest dreams. All right, so what I'm going to talk about here today is, again, the approach that you can take with your own internal mental game in order to allow you to never, quote unquote, fail in your journey. And actually, before I get into that, I want to talk about the single biggest fallacy that people kind of tend to assume when it comes to successful people that leads them to ultimately not being able to become a success themselves. All right. So what I've noticed after working with, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of students over the last few years is that so many people look at successful people who have the result they want, people who are making millions, people who are living their dream lives, people who are doing the thing that they want to do. And the natural assumption that they have about that person is that person doesn't fail, right? That person must have it easy. That person must kind of be on easy street all the time. That person must not have challenges. That person must not have hurdles. Or even if consciously they look at that person and they say, yeah, I bet that person has some issues, has some problems, but they aren't anything like my problems. That's the conclusion that they come to. All right. There's always a conclusion of when the person's ahead of them, they naturally think that, yeah, even if that person has some issues, I can guarantee you they're not issues like I'm facing in my life and in my journey right now. And what I know to be true from personal experience, also working with, tons of successful entrepreneurs at every level of the game, far beyond where I am right now, is that the exact opposite holds true. I'm not here to burst your bubble when it comes to your dream of success, but the truth is that the more successful you are, the more successful your business is, the bigger your business is, the faster you grow, the more people you have working for you, all of the things that kind of mean success in business, right? The bigger the revenue is, usually the more freaking problems you have, all right? And again, the age-old quote, more money, more problems. I would say more money, different problems, but at the same time, there definitely are a different set of problems that come from having money and being successful. And the truth is, like I just said, the most successful people in the world are oftentimes also the people that fail the most often in their journey. The difference is that when they fail, they don't label it a failure, they don't look at it as a failure, and they don't let that failure keep them from stopping them, all right? And that is the huge, key, critical distinction that I wanna make. They don't look at it as a failure, they look at it as a feedback mechanism, a feedback loop, which then allows them to do whatever it is that they were doing, which they quote unquote failed with, in a more effective, more efficient manner in order to get to their results more effectively, more quickly, and ultimately have success with that thing. Or for that matter, sometimes, even if they have, an endeavor that they fail at, oftentimes super successful people will have so many different endeavors going on at the same time where you might have 3, 4 different things, 4 different projects that you're looking to kind of dial in. And 3 out of the 4, 4 out of the 5 might ultimately not work out, might ultimately quote unquote fail. But one hits it really big, makes up for all the others, and everyone ends up looking up to you based on that one. All right. And so what successful people do, very simply, is firstly, they understand that a lot of the stuff they're going to try, a lot of the stuff they're going to do, a lot of the, endeavors that they're going to take on, a lot of the new projects they're going to try to execute upon aren't going to go exactly the way that they want them to go. And they're actually fine with that because they know that, when one goes exactly the way they want it to go, it's going to make up for all of the rest. The other thing they do, and this is the big shift that you need to have in order to never fail in your journey, is they never actually label it a failure. All right. They very simply just label it part of the overall process, and they use it as a feedback mechanism in order to go ahead and improve, get better, and get more efficient, get more effective at whatever it is they're doing. All right. It's kind of like, if LeBron James was in the middle of a basketball game and he was dribbling down the court and he missed an easy layup. Yeah, it might be a failure, right? Because he missed the layup, but he's not going to stop in the middle of the basketball game and quit because he missed the layup. Whether you love LeBron or hate LeBron, he's missed a couple layups. What happens? He keeps going. The next time he comes down the floor, he uses that miss as a feedback mechanism, as once again, an opportunity to improve. Then from there, hits the next layup, and again, essentially learns, grows, and evolves from it. And instead of looking at it as a failure, looks at it as a success and ultimately just part of the journey. All right. And so business, just like with sports, just like with really any endeavor, you have to get used to understanding that the successful people, the people that you're looking up to, the people that you're pedalizing, the people who you're looking up to as the people who probably don't have any problems, who are on easy street, who have the easy life, I guarantee you those people have a ton of problems, right? Those people have a ton of things that aren't going the way they want them to go. Those people have a ton of things that are quote unquote failing. The only difference is they don't categorize them as failures. They just very simply learn from them. They use them as feedback loops and feedback mechanisms. And then from there, they're consistently growing and they're consistently doing enough so that if something goes right or one of those things that they're doing will go right, it makes up for everything else that didn't quite go right in their journey, thus allowing them to have success, continue to grow, and ultimately expand. The only thing I would say is you always want to put the different activities that you're executing on or looking at executing on through kind of a risk matrix, understanding that, look, something might be really exciting right now, right? You might be looking at this thing as, God, this thing's going to 50x my business. There's a chance that that doesn't go the way you think it's going to go, right? There's always that chance. And so what you want to get really good at is you want to get really good at doing a lot of things, understanding that everything isn't necessarily going to pan out, but make sure that those a lot of things that you're doing are not things that if they go wrong, will take you out of the game, all right? You don't want to risk everything on one thing going right. Then when that one thing doesn't go right, you're completely tapped out, you're out of the game, and ultimately, out of business, bankrupt, whatever it might be. You want to calculate your risks, take small bets when it comes to doing a lot of stuff that can grow your business, not necessarily risk the farm on one thing. And then when one thing goes right, look at all of the other things essentially as feedback mechanisms that allow you to ultimately get to where you are with that one thing. So with that said, I hope you got a ton of value out of today's video. If you did, please let me know in the comments section below what your biggest takeaway was. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up button below this video.